So we're going to go into a couple things that are related here. First of all, Kimmy shares this tweet. Fact check of recent hot takes. Our revolution won most of our state and local races last night. Justice Dems won 6 races last night. Over 200 Bernicrats have won races just in 2018. Our movement has changed the discourse and will continue transforming the nation for the better. So again, I feel like yesterday we kind of highlighted more on the bad news than the good. And I stand by when we were talking about how I don't want to focus so much on electoral politics and want to focus on different things people are doing. I did mean that, and I do want to do that. However, we talk about electoral politics. It's you know, it's part of the show. You guys share a lot of articles about it, and that's great too. But yeah, I don't want it to just be so much heavy on that because, you know, I don't really have much reverence for it. And I think some of you, I think a lot of you share that sentiment, and that's why you're here. I think that's something a lot of us share. We don't have much reverence for it. And that's fine. So, but we should focus on stuff outside of that, too. You know what I mean? But anyway, so there was some good news last night. Well, Tuesday night. There was definitely some good news. And so going on that, I want to share something else now that Jordan posted that I think is related, because one of the things that the corporatocracy is going to do and the establishment is going to do is they're going to try to marginalize these victories. Where's Jordan's article? There it is. All right. And now we're going to go to what the establishment media is saying about this, even though there were certainly some victories. So this is from Politico. I've actually seen this article, full disclaimer. But I think it's definitely worthwhile for us to go over. Down goes socialism. The Ocasio-Cortez wing of the Democratic Party thinks its policies are the path to victory in red states. Tuesday night's results suggest otherwise. Really? Because Justice Democrats won in Michigan. They won in Kansas. That might kind of say that you're wrong. If you thought Ocasio-Cortez's upset primary win over Joe Crowley meant the Democratic Party was poised to go socialist, think again. Tuesday night's largely Midwest primaries produced a near shutout. No, it didn't. It was mixed. Were there losses? Abso-frickin-lutely. And Al-Said was a big loss. Absolutely. That was a big loss. And this is coming from someone who, again, what we talked about yesterday, I'm not interested in tying up and putting a bow on losses. And that's not me trying to... You know, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, these candidates, I'm sure they work their asses off, and I know that. I'm not trying to, when I say that, I'm not in any way marginalizing them. I'm just saying you don't gain anything from tying up and putting a bow on a loss. A loss is still a loss in electoral politics. But to simply call something a near shutout when it just definitionally wasn't, 6 wins is not a near shutout. And by the way, what is the anti-establishment left? Here, you know what? This anti-establishment part, not necessary. The left. That's all you need. Because the left is by definition anti-establishment. Because they're anti-war. The establishment is pro-war. Yeah, you get the idea. I don't need to keep going on that. The most glaring defeat came in Michigan's gubernatorial primary. Abdul Al-Said. Yes. He lost, and that was a big loss. In fact, Clinton's endorsement, so this is the article, Clinton's endorsement appeared to carry the most weight in Michigan. You mean the state she lost? The state that frickin' loved Bernie Sanders and Clinton lost in? You think that her endorsement really made a big deal? Her late robocall in support of Haley Stevens helped take Stevens from second place in the polls to an election night victory in the suburban 11th district, a top Democratic target. While Perez Saad, backed by Ocasio-Cortez, placed 4th. And 2 other House primaries in Michigan, candidates backed by the party's official campaign arm, the DCCC, coasted against supporters of Sanders' signature Medicare for All proposal. Al-Said's defeat may have been the most noticeable loss for Ocasio-Cortez and Sanders, but the defeat of Brent Welder in Kansas is far more politically significant. Welder, a former Sanders 2016 campaign staffer, hoped to carry the Democratic banner in Kansas's 3rd congressional district. The largely urban district is a top party priority, one of a handful of Republican seats that Clinton won in 2016. Oh, and in Kansas's 4th, the progressive won. So yeah, in Kansas's 3rd, the progressive lost. In Kansas's 4th, the progressive won. So yeah, again, there were some big losses Tuesday night. Don't get me wrong. But there were also some victories. So to say there's been no progress, to say that this was a near shutout, is just simply objectively a lie. And to make the leap that Clinton had some major pull in a state that she lost to Donald Trump, a state that usually is blue, that is typically dependably blue, that yes, is a swing state. Michigan can be a swing state, usually dependently blue. And Sanders dominated that state in the primary. She went on to not be able to win it. This article is just completely a stretch in every way. A big-time stretch. So let me see what you guys are saying. Statutory Grape, thank you for the Super Chat contribution. It's funny that they are already calling socialism a failure when the neoliberal Democrats lost 1,000 seats. That's the definition of failure. Yeah, no kidding. You know how we fight bad ideas with no ideas? You know what? We got no ideas. No ideas are better than bad ideas, right? No, not really. No, not because you're just gonna help those bad ideas. That's what you're gonna do. Are you sure? But we're not those bad ideas. Yeah, you're no idea. I mean, Lewis Black said it in 2004. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Jordan says, Michigan is only blue because of unions. Socially very conservative. Maybe, yeah. I mean, all the more reason. I mean, you know, Pennsylvania, again, generally, you can kind of say that about Pennsylvania too, but they're usually decidedly blue. And especially, you know, those types of places are more likely to be susceptible to a Bernie Sanders message. That gives me some encouragement. Go brand new Congress. Garden Gnome says, I don't consider Justice Dem victories as significant. I see trying to reform the party in this way as being utterly pointless and repetitive. I don't necessarily disagree with you. Again, I kind of wish we had a brand new party, but we don't. So, you know, I'm rooting for progressive victories wherever we can get them. Although I feel like there's so much set up in the Democratic Party to make sure a progressive takeover doesn't happen that I don't see how that will work. But I've never been one in... if victories keep happening and they get bigger and bigger, I hope I'm proven wrong. I really do. I would be fine if I'm wrong on this one. And somehow they get rid of the superdelegates, they end the DCCC. I'd love to see all that happen. And I'll take the progressive victories where I can get them. Peter Dew says, socialism is history. Late-stage capitalism is the future. The voters have spoken, and they want to keep losing. Garden Gnome points out, Ron, the DNC has firewalls they have built up over decades that prevent internal populist reform. Absolutely, they do. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's why I think we ought to start a new party. But right now, I mean, it's not happening. So...
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. Go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on